Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. So I feel a little slanted, just a little, but it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. I am back live. Yes, yes. Good day, Lindsay. Good day, Vanessa. It's so good to be back home. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Lindsay, I'm loving that Southern California girl. Loving it. It was like 75, 78 every day. Sunshine, heat. Whew, it felt good, Tim. It felt good to just lay out in the sun for a couple of hours one day. Yeah, Gladys. Yes, thank you. It's good to be back with you all. I hope you all enjoyed the week of Living Life in Joy celebration. It was wonderful to do some replays of some of my favorites. And so I just want to shout out Robert, who you might have seen from my social media. We finally got to meet each other in Palm Springs. He was there for the Centers for Spiritual Living convention also, and we just like we saw each other and started screaming. and then and then the next thing he says to me is, I didn't know you were so short. He's like, you look so tall. When you do sip, you look so tall. And I was like, really? And he's tall. He is tall. So that was really funny that we hugged, and then he gave me my joy. Oh, I meant to bring my little joy that he had for me. This little figurine that says joy on it. It's so cute. And I so get a kick out of being associated with joy and also being associated with the moon, because like a couple of people came up to me and was like, "You're the moon lady, right?" And I was like, "Yes." Oh, hey, Miss Sip. It was very, very cool. So I really, really enjoyed the conference, and I'll talk a little bit more about that when we do some joy news. But shout out to Robert. Was one of he was my first guest on Living Life in Joy. So of course I had to do the replay. He kicked off the week. And Gladys, yes, Gladys is here. So we had to replay Gladys with all her wonderfulness with her jewelry, Asante Jewels. So please check her out. Regina Smithwick is doing the thing. She is doing the thing. She has her own podcast, Let's Talk 1943. She has 2 books out, one on podcasting and one on being adopted. So she is doing the thing. We had Ty Stevens, who's this amazing New Thought singer, and you can check him out. Go to all the music places, and you will find Ty Stevens. Lindsay, yes, Lindsay was part of the replay, just sharing her joy, right? Sharing her joy. And if you haven't checked out Lindsay's sermon yet, you'll need to check it out. Lindsay, it was fabulous. Fabulous. I loved it. I loved it. And let's see, did I get everybody? Robert, Gladys, Regina, Ty, Lindsay. And then yesterday we did a replay of my sermon, and so it is, that I did the Sunday before last at Rockland CSL. So it was a full, nutritious week of Living Life in Joy, all about the celebration, which is one of my qualities that I am embodying for 2022. So I got back yesterday, and I'm a little, adjusting back to Eastern Standard Time, but it's all good. It's worth the little off balance that I feel right now, because I know it's temporary. I'll be fine in a day or so. And I was reading so in the 30-day mental diet, shout out to the 30-day mental diet participants. We have class tonight. But I'm on day 21, right? Today's my day 21. Everyone's on different days depending on when you started. And I was reading day 21 this morning, but my mind was still in day 20 yesterday. Because day 20 just hit me. It just hit me. So I'm going to share a little bit from day 20. I see you, Ron. Yes, thank you. I missed you too. And the thing about day 20 in the 30-day mental diet is this. It's called Peace of Mind Can Be Yours. And what I love about Willis Kinnear, he's the author of the 30-day mental diet. He always has these little subtitles underneath the day. And I kind of resonate more with the subtitles. So the subtitle for yesterday, day 20, is the value of being discontented. The value of being discontented. That really resonates with me. It really, really resonates with me. So I started digging into the word discontentment because I feel some of it. I feel some discontentment in my life. And part of it came up for me at the conference. So part of the CSL convention is they have different workshops. And I attended a workshop called Sacred Disruption. Sacred Disruption. And it was all about looking at things in your life that need to get disrupted. You know, like you're just going along to get along, right? You're aware that some things need to change. And for whatever reason, you're not willing to make the change, right? But it requires a disruption. And they called it sacred disruption, which I like. It feels a little better. It don't feel so harsh, right? Sacred disruption, right? And so that's been sitting with me. And then when I read day 20 yesterday, that kind of bubbled up more of this idea of discontentment, and that it's not a negative, right? Feeling discontentment is nothing to fear, right? It's nothing to fear. It's just information. It's just information. Just like if we identify something in our lives that we need to disrupt, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, right? It's just something that we need to do for ourselves, right? On our journey of becoming more of who we are, right? The status quo is totally overrated in my book. And so, where's the status? That was a question that came up in my journaling this morning when I was doing my inspirational journaling. The question that came up is, excuse me, is what is status quo in my life right now? What is status quo? And so I'm still sitting with that because I do know, but I don't want to admit it yet, y'all. I don't want to admit it yet because once I admit it, then I'm going to have a choice to do something about it or not, right? But at this stage in my life, when these things come up, I'm about that other C, right, for 2022, curiosity and courage. And those two things go hand in hand with me, curiosity and courage. So I'm being courageous and curious about the things in my life that are now requiring some sacred disruption, right? And the key for that for me is, where do I feel discontentment? Where do I feel discontentment in my life, right? Peace of mind can be yours. You can't have peace of mind if you feel discontentment. It's really difficult to hold those two energies together, right? It's really different. It's just a disturbance. There's a disturbance. There's a disturbance. And there's that disruption, right? There's that disruption. So this week's theme is discontentment. Yep. Discontent. That is this week's theme. Yep. That's where we're going this week because we got to shake some stuff up. We got to shake some stuff up. That's right. That's where we're going this week. So, of course, I went to the handy dandy dictionary and looked up discontent. Lots of definitions. This is the one we're going to be working with. A restless desire or craving for something one does not have. A restless desire or craving for something one does not have. And so if we break down the word discontent, dis means apart, right? Away, asunder. I love that word, asunder. It's such an old-fashioned word, asunder, right? And content, in essence, is satisfaction, right? So you're basically away from satisfaction. Who wants to be away from satisfaction? Raise your hands. No, we want to feel satisfied, right? We want to feel satisfied. So, no more away or apart from satisfaction. So, what is it? What is it that you're feeling away from? What is it? You could write that down. What is it that I am feeling away from within myself? Because the only part of this definition that I will disagree with is the part that says one does not have. So a restless desire or craving for something one does not have. So we have everything within us, right? Everything that we need has already been created. We we may need to come into alignment with it. We may need to be open to receive it, a willingness to receive it, right? But everything that we desire, we can have because it's already available for us to step into it, to claim it, to own it, to affirm it, right? Like our quality, right? So, y'all had a whole week, right? Without me reminding you about your quality. How you doing with your quality? Huh? How you doing? Remember I gave you homework before I took my little break last week. And your homework was what? Was based on sheep, right? Remember sheep? It seems so long ago now, but it was just the other day, right? And so the acronym for sheep was what? Subconscious habits explain every perception. There they are, looking all cute. Don't let them fool you, right? That pattern of thinking, right? Subconscious habits explains every perception. And so your homework was to perceive everything through your quality. You remember? Perceive everything through your quality. So I have a quick story to share. So I was flying to California. My flight was really early on Tuesday morning. And I checked in the night before. You know how you could check in the night before online. So I checked in the night before. My flight was like at 6 something, I think. So I wake up that early in the morning, like 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning. And I wake up to a text from American Airlines saying that my flight was canceled. My flight was canceled. So immediately I was pissed off, right? Because I had checked in the night before, everything was fine. And then I wake up to a text that says my flight was canceled, right? Fine. So I call American Airlines. And this is while I'm waiting, I'm listening to the music, waiting for someone to come on. This is what comes into my mind: wholeness, right? That's my quality of 2022. My quality of 2022 is wholeness. My homework to us all, including me, was to perceive everything through the lens of wholeness. Everything. And that would include my flight being canceled. Oh, right? So I'm like in a little a little tug of war is going on in my mind, right? Like, okay, You could practice perceiving this as wholeness. And then the other part was like, no, no, they canceled your flight. This is crazy. La, 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 right? So the person gets on and she's telling me what my options are. So I'm like, okay, fine. So we get another flight. It's a little later. It's like 8:30. My husband's driving me to the airport. I get a call from American Airlines. We are now on our way to the airport. I get a call from American Airlines saying that the new flight that they put me on is now delayed. And because it's delayed, I will not be able to meet my connecting flight in Dallas. Okay. You can see this through the lens of wholeness. No, no, I do not want to see this through the lens of wholeness. No, 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 right? I stay calm. And usually what turns on within me is to empathize with the person that's telling me this information. So I immediately say to her, wow, this must be really challenging for you to have to make these calls to people to tell them their flights canceled and their flights delayed, and people are just so upset with you, right? And she was like, yeah, it's kind of like that. And I was like, girl, I understand. You're doing a great job. I so appreciate you calling me, right? So I go into that's usually what kicks in for me, right? And it's coming from my heart. It really is, because I used to be in customer service, and I know how the public can be sometimes. So I kick into that. And so she's like, so you could go to Newark. We're on our way to LaGuardia, and she's telling me you could go to Newark and catch a 10 o'clock flight. But the only thing is you're going to have a long wait in Dallas, or you could continue on and try to catch the 7:29 flight. So it's like, I don't know, 6:30, right? You could go on and try to catch the 7:29 flight, and you will meet your connection in Dallas. But if you miss that flight and you're on the original flight, that 8:30 flight that's now delayed, and you miss your connection, you'll have to wait in Dallas till 9 o'clock at night. These are my options, right? Go to Newark, which is far away from where we are, or press on and try to catch this earlier flight. I said, let's press on and try to catch this earlier flight. And she says, okay, right? She goes, hold on. She comes back. She goes, you're upgraded to first class. I said, really? She said, yes. I said, well, thank you. She said, well, thank you for being so understanding. I said, okay. Marco gets me to the airport, and I'm like, I don't know. When I walk into an airport, I always wander around like I don't know where I am. Girl, you're in the airport. Look for American Airlines, right? So I find it. There's the kiosk. I must have looked like I was lost. This woman comes over, and she's helping me. One of the people that works for American Airlines. She's getting me all checked in and situated, and I'm telling her what happened, and she's like, okay, we're going to get you on the flight. And she goes, okay, you just have to drop your luggage off over there, right? So I look over there, and it was the longest line. It was a long line. So she sees me looking at the line. She said, come on, come on, come on. So she takes me over. She puts me in the front of the line. They take my luggage, and I go off to security. Security, now you know how it is at security. Lines, lines, lines. There were three people in front of me. Cool. Get through security, get to the gate, final boarding call. Final boarding call. I get on that plane, get in my first class seat. Someone immediately comes over and knows my name and asks me if they could do. It was lovely. It was lovely. Had a wonderful flight, right? Wonderful flight. Why? Because I chose to perceive, and it wasn't easy. I chose to perceive everything that was happening through the lens of wholeness. I was pissed. right? My initial reaction was pissosity. I was pissed. And then I took a breath, got myself together, chose wholeness, chose wholeness. And I had to keep reminding myself of that over and over and over again, over and over again, right? So you might be asking, Red Mel, what does that have to do with discontentment? It doesn't. It doesn't have to do anything with discontentment. What it has to do with is that we are always at choice, always at choice. And so a choice that I have is, do I want to stay in the place of discontentment? Oh, see, there's the connection, y'all. Thank you, Spirit. Do I want to stay in the place of discontentment, the status quo, or do I want to live in the wholeness of who I am? And life gives us so many opportunities to practice that, to practice it. Willis said, peace of mind can be yours today. On that travel day, I could have had the experience of not having peace of mind. But instead, I had the experience to have peace of mind. And I certainly had peace of mind riding in first class. Yes, I did. Instead of discontentment about what is happening, dissatisfaction about what is happening, believing that my wholeness is away from me. My wholeness ain't away from me. The only thing that happened was the flight was canceled. That happens, right? But what doesn't have to happen is my wholeness, my quality being away from me. It's not away from me, and neither is yours. So, whatever your quality is, know that it is within you, that it is never away from you, unless you choose to perceive it as such. Subconscious habits are patterns of thinking, explains every perception. All right. All right. So there you have it. We are rolling with discontent, and we will see where it is going to take us. We're on a journey this week. Think about your quality. Continue to see it. Thank you, Gladys, for that wonderful story. Perfect example. I appreciate that. Think about your quality of the divine that you are embodying. You're seeing it through the lens. You're seeing everything through that lens, right? This is your new pattern of thinking, your quality, your quality. You're applying it to everything. And when you go into, and when you get pissed off, that's the perfect time to practice your quality. Perfect time. All right. All right, y'all. Let's get into some joy news. Let me make it quick because that was a very long story I told. So, joy news. I wanted to share two pictures from the convention. Oh, did I send you the other one, Sekou? So, one, I'll share the other one tomorrow. So, one is, so you know, my quality is within my quality of wholeness is curiosity and courage. And so there was a humongous water slide there it is, at the resort. You'll see that? It whined and whined, it whined and whined, and it went down. There was a slow one. There were two. One was the slow one, and one was the fast one. I call myself going down the slow one, and it was mighty fast to be slow. But this is the thing. I'm terrified of water slides, especially the ones that go like that. Like if they just go straight down, maybe. But this one was whipping around, and I was terrified. And I was with someone, and she was encouraging me to go, and I was like, no, girl. And then curiosity whispered, and then courage whispered. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it. So I went down the slide. I went down the slide. I was terrified, but it was wonderful. My curiosity has been met. I don't have to do it again. So I'll share the other picture tomorrow. I want to remind everyone to check out the Yoga Alliance podcast that I am a guest on. And I'm talking about living life in joy. You can find it on Spotify. Just put in Yoga Alliance. I'm going to figure out how to put it on my podcast, which I have been neglecting. But I just want to remind everyone about that. And living life in joy. This Sunday, I have a wonderful guest. Her name is Susie. I always pronounce Susie's name wrong. I have to get the right pronunciation of her last name. But she is a nutritional. She's created a company called Nutritional Solutions, and it's all about conscious nutrition, conscious eating. And so she's going to be our guest next Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And then 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we have SIP at Rockland CSL. And our fifth Sundays are practitioner Sundays. So they are running the service on Sunday. And the topic is I am the proof of God. I love that. And please mark your calendars for the next meditation with the full moon. Decision has been made. We're just doing full moons for 2022. So the full moon is February 16th. So just mark your calendars for that. And I'll remind you as we get closer to that. So let me check in with Say Cool real quick. I missed you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good story. You got lots of comments about it. Also got comments about the slide. As Margaretta says she wants to do that. So yeah, good story. I am confused, and maybe someone else is, so I'm going to ask live. So are you saying that wholeness is a quality that we're adding to the qualities that we already have? Or is that something separate?
That's my quality.
Wholeness.
Wholeness is my quality.
So same thing happens to me. My flight's delayed. What I'm going to be saying is on the way to the airport, I am abundance. I'm choosing to see this through abundance.
Yep. You're seeing it through the lens of abundance, the lens of happiness, the lens of wealth. You're seeing it. Yeah. Look at his face. Look at his face, y'all.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's hard work.
Just think about the conversation. Just think about how the conversation with the representative would have gone if I continued in the lens of pissed offness.
Right.
She wouldn't have, I doubt it, highly doubt it. If she would have said, hold on, and then come back and said, I upgraded you to first class.
Definitely not.
I don't think so.
No, for sure. Okay.
So everything, Sekou, is through the lens of your quality. So whatever your quality, Lindsay, I know yours is joyful trust. So everything that happens, you're seeing it through the lens of joyful trust.
All right.
Everything. Nothing is excluded.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We're going to circle back to that.
All right. Yes, don't pick and choose. Don't pick and choose, right? Don't pick and choose. Everything, right? Because we're practicing our pattern of thinking. Our pattern of thinking is our quality. So do you want to pick and choose how you're going to experience that? Right? Why? Why experience it sometime and not others? Nothing is excluded. That's right, Ron. Nothing. All right. Yes, I'm looking forward to see you all who are in the 30-day mental diet class tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we did a no complaint week. So we'll be checking in on that. All right, y'all. That's time. Peace and blessings. Peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.